Welcome to the channel. Let's talk some Texans. I'm Cody Stoots. Plenty to get to on the video tonight. Appreciate you joining live, or if you're watching after the fact, appreciate you checking out the video. Real simple question. Do the Texans need to keep it in the air to win football games? We'll discuss that and what exactly that means and looks like for the Houston Texans, plus some crumbles from the Colts game. Some crumbs from the Colts game, I guess, maybe I should say. Some crumbs from the Colts game that I can't quite sweep away, including DeMeco Ryans and how he talked about the team's tempo, the expectations for the defense, and one positive that showed up, well, in that passing game. We'll talk about that and so much more. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate the comments live as we go through this video. I'll get to as many of them as I can, and if I can't get to them in the moment, I'll try to star them and come back to those videos. And of course, we appreciate you with a thumbs up or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the description for a ton of fun stuff that we'll go over while we are talking on the show tonight. So let's get into it. Do the Texans need to keep it in the air to win football games? It seems pretty simple. They've thrown the ball much better than they've run the ball. They spent the number 2 overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft on a quarterback. They went out there and spent $1 gazillion on the offensive line. Now, I know they haven't been able to use a lot of those offensive linemen this season just yet, but the success is there in the air. So it seems pretty matter of fact, and it seems pretty easy and simple to say, hey, just keep it in the air. Throw the ball more. Especially when it's 4 out of 5 spots on the offensive line taken up by backup players. Just throw the ball. Quick stuff, easy stuff where CJ Stroud can get out and go make a play. Just throw the ball. Now, it's easy for me to sit there, watch the game on Sunday and say, well, just throw the ball more. It's easy for us to watch the game and sit there and be like, yeah, just throw the ball. You know who agrees with everybody who says just throw the ball more? How about Texans wide receiver Robert Woods? This was him on Monday talking about Bobby Slowick and what he's seen from Slowick's offense so far. And listen to what Woods says here in the middle.
It's a little bit of injuries, obviously, like protection. If we want to hit some big shots, we have to be able to protect our quarterback. But, I mean, he's a great OC, making some right calls. I feel like he's able to trust his players. I feel like he felt our receiver energy in this past game. We're kind of feeding him like, come on, coach, let us go. Keep throwing, keep it in the air. We're down. We're trying to make plays. We're asking for the ball, and that's what you want from all your guys on the offense side. You want a team full of guys who want the ball in their hands, and I think Slowick knows that, and he's trying to call these plays to get his playmakers in space.
Come on, coach. Keep throwing it. Keep throwing it. Keep getting us the ball. This is probably not any better demonstrated that the Texans needed to throw the football than when Andrew Beck ran the football in the red zone. It was the end of the third quarter, headed into the fourth quarter. The teams had just switched sides. The Texans had second and goal from the 2, and they came out of the break in a heavy formation and handed the ball to the fullback, and he went absolutely nowhere. This came after on first down, Bobby Slowick had called a run for Dameon Pierce, and you guessed it, the rushing attack went nowhere on first down. So what did he do on second down when he had a whole TV timeout between the third and fourth quarter to think about it? He ran the damn football with Andrew Beck. And wouldn't you know it, on third down, they ran a pass play and scored a touchdown. Now, it got wiped out because the backup offensive lineman at left tackle, Josh Jones, got a holding call. But wouldn't you know it, throw the ball, score the ball. They ultimately ended up settling for a field goal and a 7-minute drive that spanned the end of the third quarter, the start of the fourth quarter, netted them 3 points when they were down a tremendous amount to the Indianapolis Colts. Like, yes, some of this throwing is because the Colts could be lax and could let you go and just kind of, we don't have to defend the Texans too hard. We're up big. We don't have to worry about them. Oh, they score a couple of points here. No big deal. Score a couple of points there. No big deal. But when it was 14-0 and CJ Stroud matriculated them down the field and they finished it with a Nico Collins touchdown, it was pass heavy. It was pass oriented. This team can't pass block really well, but I know what they can do better than run block. They can pass block a little bit better than they can run block. Dameon Pierce had a 10-yard rush in this game. If you take that 10-yard rush out of the equation, the Texans ran the ball for like 1.6 yards per carry. Now, put that 10 yards back in, they ran the ball for 2 yards per carry. This team can't run the football effectively right now. So that run first, win it on the ground, use the run to set up the pass, that's got to go. You got to kick that down the road until you got 4 or 5 guys up there that you can trust that can run block and can open this thing up. And you got to think about this. Yes, this is a zone running scheme, and that's supposed to be one of those things that even when the talent's not that great, you're supposed to be able to execute it. And I agree with that sentiment when you start thinking about the type of offense that the Texans operate with, when you start thinking about the type of offense that the Texans are supposed to run. When we talk about the offense being able to succeed with a lack of talent, we usually talk about guys who aren't that talented, who've been playing a bunch in that offense together, not backup left tackle Josh Jones next to backup left guard Kendrick Green, next to backup center Jared Patterson, next to starter Shaq Mason, next to backup right tackle George Fant. That's not really what we're talking about when we think, oh, okay, sometimes when the team's not that talented and they run a Shanahan, a Kubiak style of offense, the offensive line can still make it work. When it's a bunch of backups who've been here for a couple of weeks, who don't know the offense as well as guys who've been in it, that's not what we're talking about when it's not that talented. And you just look at where the playmakers and where the plays have been made and where you have success. Getting the ball in the air is how you succeed in the National Football League. You look at the best teams in the NFL. You look at the consistently best teams in the NFL. They all throw the ball extremely well. And CJ Stroud, through 2 weeks, has shown you that you can trust him, has shown you that you can believe in him to go out there and make plays. The guy's number 4 in passing yards right now. And yes, I know some of that is in catch-up time, but in key moments within catch-up time, he's making play after play after play after play. Put the ball in this guy's hands, get the ball in the air, and maybe when linebackers are off the field for DBs, maybe when DBs aren't worried about swarming in on running backs when the ball's going to the outside, and maybe when safeties kind of have to creep back a little bit, you'll be able to run the ball and not have everybody just attacking that backup-laden offensive line. They've got to throw the football more to succeed. That's just a simple matter of the fact right now. I'm not saying that they have to take the entire playbook and throw the damn thing out the window. Don't do that. You've clearly put in a lot of effort to put some things in there, but you can't execute some of this high-level stuff with what you've got on the field right now. I believe in Dameon Pierce. I believe Devin Singletary is one of the best backup running backs that this organization has ever had in its history. But they cannot effectively run the football right now with those offensive linemen in front of them. So if it's week 5, when you have to start trying to focus back on the rushing attack because you've got Titus Howard back at right tackle off of IR, you've got Juice Scruggs back in the starting lineup off of IR. Like, if that's the case, then so be it. Pass your ass off against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pass your ass off against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go out there. If you got to throw it 40 times, throw it 40 times. That's what you spent the number 2 overall pick in the draft on, was a quarterback. You didn't spend the number 2 overall pick on a running back like it was 1978, okay? You spent the number 2 overall pick on a quarterback. Throw the damn football. It's not rocket science. And I really do hope Bobby Slowick has watched this, understood all of this, and I still believe in Bobby Slowick. He's been disappointing through 2 games. He has clearly been a disappointment through 2 games, and you saw what elite level offense is supposed to look like from the Indianapolis Colts. Shane Steichen had that thing executed and dialed up to perfection. That's what high-level offense looks like in the NFL. You script it and crush the opposing team on your opening drive, and then in a quick change, you have a big play dialed up that takes advantage of their weaknesses, and then when you've had 2 drives that didn't go anywhere and you have to put in your backup quarterback, you go in there and you pick apart the defense for a couple more touchdowns. You score 28 points in the first half. 28 points in the first half. That's not a super talented offense over there. That's not a team that has a better passing quarterback than you. Obviously, when Gardner Minshew gets in there, he's got a little bit more success in the NFL than Anthony Richardson does, but that's not the type of team. The Colts will not score 28 points in the first half again. Okay? That's what elite level coached offense looks like. They are not super talented at Indianapolis. They've got 1 good wide receiver and a solid offensive line. And you know what? They weren't running the rock a bunch to get this thing moving down the field. They were throwing it, and they were picking the Texans apart because it was well executed. It was schemed up the correct way. And even when they put Gardner Minshew in, they were like, screw it. Let the Fu Manchu go out there and start slinging this thing. Okay? And you know what he did? He cut the Texans. Okay? He cut the Texans to pieces because when you execute through the air, you dominate people. You dominate people in the National Football League. It is hard to succeed when you aren't throwing the ball an appropriate amount. Throw the ball, keep it in the air, succeed on offense. Hopefully the defense catches up and put some wins on the record. Keep it in the air. I might need shirts made. We might need keep it in the air shirts. All right. That gets us started. That's the rant to get us going. What do you guys make? We encourage you to get into the chat and chit-chat. Get into the chat and chit-chat. Get in the comments section. Have some fun. Appreciate everybody showing up. Matt from the Pudding Jar is here. New season ticket holder, Matt. Hey, appreciate you stopping by. Brandon's here. Rick is here. Venom, big comment. We'll get to that a little bit later. STX Texan, appreciate you. Darmu, appreciate you. Sean, Hefe, Blue Boy, Luis. Good stuff. Justin, appreciate you jumping in. Hadn't seen you in a while, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Me and Justin go back a couple years now. Carl Longoria, need a run and shoot offense. Man, need to put that sucker in the air. Put it in the air. Keep it in the air. Adieu 890. Cody, what's up, man? Thank you for the stickers. Hope you're doing well. Hey, thank you for wanting stickers, and I still got some. I know the era of good vibes. I mean, not that good of vibes, but I still got era of good vibes stickers. You want stickers? I'll mail them to you. I'll mail them to you. Hit my email, codystoots@gmail.com with your address. I'll mail them to you. Darmu, running every first down is a big no-no, let's be honest. Man, they ran the ball too much. And they ran the ball too much late when they were trying to catch up. They had 90 yards to go and they ran the football one time. And I understand you cannot just throw the ball every time like it's Texas Tech in the mid-2000s. Okay? 2008 Texas Tech, they could throw the ball every time. I get that. I get that you can't do that in the National Football League. But they have got to trust this passing offense more than they do right now. And they have to focus on it until that offensive line gets going. Now, I know D'Amico Ryan said on Monday, yeah, we were real close to breaking some big ones. Well, you know what? You didn't. So start throwing the ball more. Carl says we should have went another direction. Ryans should have got experience OC. Yeah, someone like Cliff Kingsbury maybe. But look, I just wonder if this was a lesson worth learning coming out of this game for Bobby Slowick and the entire offensive staff that, hey, we got something through the air. Let's go to the air. Let's go to the air. Blue Boy, I heard someone say we should pass set up the run. I think we're shell-shocked for the QB play last few seasons, but it may be the best way to get Damian going. Yeah, man, get those guys out of the box. Get those guys out there defending in space, and then next thing you know, CJ's putting in Dameon Pierce's belly, and he's only got two guys to beat, and he can motor through, one of those linebackers that's coming up to stop him. Like, running the football should be a secondary priority to this team to passing the football. Get it out there, get it in the air, get in a rhythm, and start throwing the ball all over people. The days of elite pass defenses, there are so many fewer pass defenses that are elite than there used to be. Okay? And if you get the ball out quick like the Indianapolis Colts, hello, you neutralize pass rushes so you don't get your quarterback sacked 6 times, 11 times in 2 games. 11 Bravo, appreciate you jumping in. Rick the Ruler, all I know is better protect Stroud. He's going to get hurt. He's getting hit way too much. Yeah, he is. Now, to his credit, I saw him do the Tom Brady turtle. When you see a guy coming, you just, boop. Brady used to do that to avoid hits. And that's something that CJ Stroud's going to need to learn how to do because there's too many free runs at CJ Stroud right now. But I saw him do the Brady turtle, which was good. It's not like it's like he's getting crushed, but you still don't want him getting sacked. And through 2 games, he's got 2 fumbles on sacks. So there's a ball security element to it as well. So you've got to just be willing to take the sack and fight another day if you're CJ Stroud. And I know that's not easy because he showcased through 2 games the mobility necessary to extend plays, make a play like that. He showcased that. So I know it's hard for him to just, there's pressure, I better just take this sack. In fact, one of the sacks, it looked like he could have just I think it was the fumble. He probably could have just done the Tom Brady turtle where you fall down. Peyton Manning did a lot too. I caught the Manning muskrat. Just kind of go down. But he started to kind of take his take an approach there. And then they got him. They started to bring him down. The Colts D lineman punched the ball out. Next thing you know, Anthony Richardson's running and it's 14-0. So, yeah, they've got to protect him. You can fight the pass rush and the bad offensive line with a better passing attack. Alex Crouch has a super chat. Super chats go to the front of the line. We'll get to those as soon as I see them. Alex Crouch, be honest, how many wins for us this year? Man, be honest with me. Does it look like this schedule is filled with world beaters? Like, they start throwing the ball, this offensive line gets healthy. I mean, they can win some football games. They have only lost 1 game I expected them to win to this point. I did not expect them to beat the Baltimore Ravens. I expected them to beat the Indianapolis Colts. So they're only 1 behind. So I just need to flip a result from later in the schedule that I thought was a loss into a win. I tell you what, they can beat the doors off the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers look like crap through 2 weeks. All right? The Saints aren't world beaters. Pittsburgh can be run on. They can't move the ball. Atlanta's inconsistent. We don't even know if Joe Burrow's going to be able to play when they go to Cincinnati. Like, nothing on this schedule looks like it's like there's not a bunch of world beaters on this schedule. Denver looks like crap. Arizona looks like crap. Cleveland looks like crap. Tennessee's not impressive. There's some wins on this schedule. Don't quit on this team. Don't quit on this team. 2 losses, it sucks. They should have 1 win. They should have beat the Indianapolis Colts. They weren't ready. They got their teeth kicked in, and they didn't get up off the mat fast enough. Okay? They didn't answer the count fast enough. All right? They should have 1 win. They should be 1-1. Okay? But they're not. They're 0-2. Don't quit. They've only lost 1 game that they, in theory, should have won. Don't quit on this team. So, to answer your question, Alex, I'm still projecting 7 wins. Over on the win total, I'm still projecting 7 wins. I got to figure out where they make up that win. But damn, the Carolina Panthers look like you can make up a win on them. You look like you can make up a win on New Orleans. And again, the NFL is built into basically 4 mini seasons. Your first 4 games is a whole season where you start to figure things out. And then you have a new season. And definitely with the Texans, when they get reinforcements coming in week 5, like it's the end of Avengers Endgame, when Titus Howard and Juice Scruggs and Cam Johnston come out of the little wizard portals to help this team in week 5, like, they're going to get reinforcements. They're going to be a better football team week 5 and on once guys get back and get healthy. Oh, by the way, Jalen Petrie and Jimmy Ward should be back here eventually. I don't know if it's going to be this week, but they should be back here eventually. Like, you're getting guys back that are going to make you a better team. So your mini season, your first 4-game mini season might be tough. But how do you respond out of that? How do you adjust? How do you learn? This is where we find out about Bobby Slowick. We find out about D'Amico Ryans. We find out about Gerard Johnson, the quarterback coach. We find out about those offensive helpers. We find out about Chris Strasser, the offensive line coach. We find out about Chris Kiffin, the linebackers coach. Like, we find out about these guys and how good of a coaches they are and how good of the staff is coming out of this 4-game mini season that you have to start. Feeling froggy 08. Great seeing you on Sunday talking ball, Cody. Man, good to see you too, man. Got to catch up with you in the yellow lot. If you're out there tailgating, I will do my best to come out and see you. And I try to walk around before the games as much as I can. What are your thoughts on T. Higgins and Big Mike trade sign rumors? I think CJ looked great. Here's the sobering reality about T. Higgins. T. Higgins is never hitting free agency. T. Higgins is never going to be a free agent. The Cincinnati Bengals, if they decide to not extend T. Higgins, they will franchise tag him and they will trade him. T. Higgins is never hitting free agency. Okay? He's never going to hit free agency. They'll franchise tag him, and then they'll either extend him, have him play on the franchise tag, or they will trade him. But he's never hitting free agency. So if you want T. Higgins, you'll have to trade for him. And people freaked out about trading a first-round pick for Will Anderson. They're not going to be happy about trading a couple of first-round picks or a first-round pick and then some for T. Higgins. And I'm not sure he's a number 1 wide receiver either. I think he is I believe he's a really solid number 2. From Big Mike, I'm assuming you mean Mike Evans. From that standpoint, Mike Evans, I believe he's going to hit free agency. I don't believe the Texans are going to be on his radar. I would think that the right combination of money and opportunity to win is going to be what he prioritized. And the Texans could have the money. I mean, hell, they could blow his doors off with the money, but they are not going to present the same opportunity to win that some of these other teams that are chasing Mike Evans. My man, I appreciate you wanting to meet up on Sunday, and good meeting you and your buddies. Hope y'all didn't get too tore up before the game. Y'all all have coolers with you? I felt like you had two, 3 coolers with you, but I know you had some brewskis. I know you were going to go to another tailgate that had some brewskis, so hopefully you don't get too tore up. Or maybe hopefully you did, because the start to that game was no bueno. So appreciate you jumping in. The Super Chats, I really appreciate those. They do jump you to the front of the line if you want to get in from that standpoint. Now, let's see if I can fire through some of these comments as much as I can. Matt Marr, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Man, this was true, wasn't it? Linebackers got exposed in coverage. Well, yeah, they did. And then, while they're getting exposed in coverage, then Zach Moss is rattling off 5 yards of carry, too. That was rough. Hefe really needed to win that game against the Colts. Very frustrating. Yeah, man. It was rough. Hey, my good friend Texans Cap is in here. Hey, Texans Cap does a great job. If you don't follow him on Twitter, you're missing out. It keeps you up to date on anything and everything that comes up with money in the National Football League, especially on the Houston Texans. He's got a YouTube channel. Check him out. He's got a Substack as well. Check him out. Support him. Cap, throw that link into the comments for the folks. Texans Cap is an invaluable resource, and he does stuff that I could never dream of doing, and it involves a lot of math, and I'm bad at math. It's just the simple fact of the matter. I'm bad at math. So give Texans Cap a follow on social media. Check out his Substack. Check out his YouTube page as well. Brandon says nothing wrong with spreading them out, staying in shotgun most of the time. Run the ball out of shotgun also. Might fool them a time or two. Yeah, look, you got to do something different. If this same, and we'll get to the change things here in just a moment. If this same approach is the case for the next 2-3 games, you're not going to win a bunch. You're going to be down. You're going to be behind, and you're not going to score as quick or as often as you need. El Mario, whatever happens this season, no more QB search. Ain't that the truth, El Mario? Ain't that the truth? The truth is the Texans got themselves a QB. The Texans got themselves a QB. Man, Sunday was a special CJ Stroud performance. He showcased that he's a gamer. He showcased that he is going to try to drag this team to victory every single week. And I heard Landry Locker say this on his YouTube show, and I believe on In the Loop. So he heard Stroud was in there early in the AM. Okay, like when most of us are asleep, hadn't even thought about getting up. Stroud was in there getting the shoulder worked on, getting it ready for the game. And CJ talked about how he got there early just to get ready for the game. He didn't even throw on Friday or Saturday, was resting it, got there super early Sunday, got ready for the game, and went out there and did that. Dude's a gamer. Imagine what happens when they can run the football. Imagine what happens when they can protect him. He's not getting sacked and hit so much. He's going to be awesome. He's going to be awesome. He clearly looks like the best rookie quarterback to this point from a long-term passing perspective. I understand Anthony Richardson looks dynamic. Anthony Richardson's got a scrambled brain right now, and we don't know if he's going to play this week, okay? And he got hurt in the middle of this game, and Gardner Minshew beat the Texans. Okay, well, finished beating the Texans. Richardson gave him a nice little lead. But C.J. Stroud, to me, he's been the most impressive rookie quarterback, and he's better than Kenny Pickett, who was the first-round pick at quarterback last year. So there's a QB in Houston, and it's great to see. And, oh, by the way, looks a lot better than Deshaun Watson, too. All right, how bad is Deshaun right now? My God. Got to get rid of the ball quicker. Guys got to get open, okay? I know we've been happy with this wide receiver room more so than what we expected. There were a couple of plays where CJ's back there and nobody's open. So guys got to get open. There was a play in the red zone where no one was open. Just no one on God's green earth was open. And, Stroud eventually made a play, but man, guys aren't getting open as fast on some of these plays. Now, some of the plays they are, some of that scheme and this and that, but I like Vasility. Forget the first down, start throwing the ball, surprise him with the run. Yep. Matt Maher with a little cool running throwback. Feel the rhythm. Get on up. It's CJ time. Cool Bulls. I don't know. Give me some time to workshop that. I can do better. Yeah, look, how Mario brings it up. These are some growing pains from D'Amico Ryans, some growing pains from Bobby Slowik. First-time head coach. Not his first time calling defense, but first-time head coach. First-time offensive coordinator and first-time play caller in Bobby Slowik. There's going to be some growing pains. I just hope that they adjust fast enough. So that these growing pains aren't a long-term endeavor. Everardo Barrera. I've seen a lot less screens. At least Bobby got the memo on that note. We just need to let CJ sling it, keep Damian in, block first to flow into a check route if no free runners. Yeah, I mean, look, there was some adjustment in the game. That's a positive. We're going to sit here and tell you Bobby Slowik's disappointed through 2 weeks. The guy figured most of his stuff out within the game. That's a positive from that standpoint, okay? I'm going to try to fire through some of these comments here. I'm trying to get to Brandon. CJ loves those in routes to Nico. They're killing it with those plays. They do it from the inside and outside. One of the big plays was a hit route to Nico. I mean, here's the fun part about Nico Collins. What he's good at, they haven't even done it yet. They haven't even done that sideline stuff yet. So that's one of the fun parts about Nico Collins. We'll get to it here in just a minute. A couple more comments, then I want to get to the crumbs left over from the Colts game. Feel like we run the ball up the middle way too much. Teagan and Beck can set a good outside for Pierce to follow. There was one play, and I meant to write it. I wrote it down. I meant to go back and find it. There was one play where Teagan Quintiriano whiffed on his block, and his guy was the only guy that could make the play at that point. And he just kind of did one of these like he was like, I can't believe I screwed that up. That may be one of those plays where D'Amico Ryans was like, we were real close to breaking something on the running game. And like Quintiriano got to block better when he gets his opportunities. Same with Beck. And the Andrew Beck rush from the 2-yard line is my least favorite play of the season. It is my least favorite play of the season. I have a hard time believing we will get a worse play than Andrew Beck running the freaking football in the red zone. Let's see here. Luis says, I just want to win the Denver game. I'll be there. That's probably a hell of a game to go to. Denver in early December, I bet it is a beauty up there. As soon as that O-line's fixed, we good. Once the O-line gets someone right, Hawkeye's going to cook. Ooh, I like that. I think we're trying to figure out who the Avengers were, and I think Sean, you said Hawkeye for C.J. Stroud, but he's supernatural sometimes with this stuff. All right, I'm trying to get to as many comments as I can. Appreciate you guys. About to put on an Amber Alert for Christian Harris. Haven't seen him in a bit. Yeah, something to monitor. Didn't have him on the field as much this week. And D'Amico was asked about it and just kind of said, it's part of the rotation. Timeout Houston. What's up, Stoots? Last year, how many games did it take you to be out on Pep Hamilton because Bobby Slowick has a couple more plays and I'm out? I think I bailed on Pep like 5 or 6 games into the season because I knew it was going to be turnover time. You're going to get to the offseason, you're going to turn it over. Pep's not sticking around. It might have been a little bit longer because Mills wasn't executing. I'm not bailing on Bobby. I'm not bailing on Bobby right now. You'll know if I bail on Bobby. But today, I believe in Bobby. And I might be in the minority. I believe in Bobby today. A few weeks from now, we can rehab this conversation. But I believe in Bobby today. A few weeks from now, maybe it's a little bit different. Jarrell Caesar. Talk about a close one. First week in the Elimination League. If you pick the Giants like me, sheesh. Yeah. If you're in the Survivor League, make sure you make your picks. There were some people that got eliminated because they did not make their picks. Make sure you make some of your picks. Jerome T. Green has a super chat. He goes to the front of the line. The defense played bad because of Ward and Petrie being out, or did D'Amico get severely out-coached? Maybe both. Jerome, thank you for the super chat. And this is actually one of my Colts Crumbs from the game that I wanted to get to, so I'll get to it right here because you've led me to it. Yes, I believe D'Amico Ryans got out-coached by Shane Steichen. It was the perfect game plan. Will Anderson got a QB hit on Anthony Richardson in the first drive. I think it was in the first series. And Will Anderson was MIA from that moment on. He had a couple of plays in the run game, but this defense was severely outplayed. The Indianapolis Colts had 0 negative plays run. They had some penalties that moved them backwards. They had 0 negative plays run. No sacks, no tackles for a loss, 0. Part of that is because they got rid of the ball so damn fast. That was a great game plan. The success on getting rid of the ball so fast, was part of the missed tackles. And I do believe Jimmy Ward and Jalen Petrie would have gone a long way into making sure those missed tackles and that number doesn't jump up. And you think about the way Petrie plays this game. Think about the way Jalen Petrie attacks things. How many times he's knifed in and just blown a play up. He's cut the knees out from a guy with the ball. Jalen Petrie is a difference maker for this team, and he did not play. And MJ Stewart and Eric Murray, who left early on in the game, and then the 2 backup safeties, Graylin Arnold and Houston Carson, whatever his name was, they're not Petrie and they're not Ward. So when those two guys get back, that raises the level of the defense. And I didn't love that there wasn't a pivot from D'Amico Ryans. And I asked Henry To'o about this. I asked Steven Nelson about this. When they are attacking you with the quick pass stuff, what's the counter? And To'o and Steven Nelson both said the same thing that D'Amico Ryans said. We have to execute better. We have to get to our spots. We have to make the plays. We have to make the tackles. So D'Amico Ryans' explanation for this defense was, without individually singling out a player, was basically, we've got to play better. And if we just make our plays, we're going to be okay. Now, I believe him right now. And I believe him until I have enough evidence to not believe him. It sounds a little simple to me that it's just going to be the guys have to play better. The guys have to make the play on the defense that I called. That sounds a little simplistic to me. But I have no choice but to believe D'Amico Ryans at this point. But if the Jacksonville Jaguars come out there and they are quick passing and hitting this stuff over the middle and guys aren't making plays, guys aren't making tackles, you've got to adjust. You've got to change. You've got to pivot within the game. The book may be out on this version of D'Amico Ryans' defense. It's really easy to call the defense when Fred Warner is your middle linebacker and all those studs that they have on defense are out there playing. Let me back that up. It's easier to have guys execute when they're that talented like they were in San Francisco. To stress the execution as how they get better, it's a risky place to be in because it puts the onus on, I did right. They've got to make the plays. I can't make the play for them. And I'm okay with that 2 games in. If that's the conversation, 12 games in and they're getting their head smashed in every week, that's not good. Jerome T. Green, thank you for the super chat. It is greatly appreciated. I very much appreciate the super chats. And if you have a super chat, you go to the front of the line. All right. Give me a second here to get caught up on some of these comments here. You guys are doing a great job on the comments tonight. Let's see. If the Browns suck, we get Marvin Harrison Jr. and he can take Woods' spot with Nico and Dell in the field with him. Hell, keep Robert Woods. I mean, it's up Marvin Harrison Jr., Robert Woods, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. I can live with that. Also, if you're new to the channel, you need to know about the Pizza Party Proclamation. I have a Pizza Party Proclamation. If the Browns selection ends up as Marvin Harrison Jr. for the Houston Texans, I will throw a pizza party and pizza's on me. And I'll even buy some beer for everybody. Okay? So if you haven't heard the Pizza Party Proclamation, you're rooting for the Browns to be really bad, to get Marvin Harrison Jr. with that pick, and then I'll throw a pizza party, and you're all invited, and the pizza's on me. Okay? Pizza Party Proclamation. Absolution. Why are people so down on Bobby? Didn't come out like Kyle and Steichen. First-time play caller has been improving in the game, plus week over week. Yeah, so it's worth noting Shane Steichen called plays in Philadelphia. He's called plays before. He called plays with a really talented offense. Now, Kevin O'Connell, who is a McVay disciple, didn't call plays, and then had some success. Zach Taylor didn't call plays as a McVay guy, and then had some success early on. So it's not, you don't have to have called plays, but he's not going to be Kyle Shanahan. The biggest thing for Bobby Slowick is don't be a cheap knockoff of Kyle Shanahan. Okay? You ever seen, knockoff toys at the dollar store where it's like Captain USA, and it's very clearly somebody hand-painted a figure to look like Captain America, but they didn't want to put Captain America on the packaging. Okay, I used to bug my grandma to buy me those. But Grandma, look, it's Captain America. And she's like, is it? It's only $1, so get it. But is it? Are you really gonna like this? And then 2 days in, the paint on the little figurines coming off on your fingers, and then you don't play with it ever again. I mean, it's dollar store toys. All right, that's what Bobby Slowick can't be. He can't be the dollar store toy of Kyle Shanahan's offense. All right, he's got to be his own man. He's got to take it to the next level. He's got to adjust. Man, one of the biggest things about offensive coordinators is when stuff's not working, you got to find out what does work. You know what's working so far? Keeping it in the air, baby. Keep it in the air. Absolution, appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Oh, look who's in here. Texas Sports Unfiltered, run by my good friend and former radio colleague Brad Kellner. If you are a fan of the Texas Longhorns, Texas Sports Unfiltered is your best source on YouTube. Go check them out. Go hit the thumbs up button on all their videos. Go subscribe to their channel. If you like UT, you cannot miss Texas Sports Unfiltered. And it's not just UT talk. They talk all sorts of stuff, and you still get all the fun, crazy, out of left field Brad Kellner experiences out of this too. BK, miss you, buddy. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for encouraging people to hit that thumbs up button. Appreciate you. It's awesome to see you killing it over there in Austin. I can't wait till we crack some brews together here soon. Texas Sports Unfiltered. Go check it out, folks. Go check it out. Xavier. Okay, I will try to remember this, but I can't promise that I will call you Xavier every time. All right. Getting schooled. I was yelling, let Stroud play at the game. Yeah, let him go out there. What do the kids say? Let him cook. Hey, let CJ Stroud cook. Sometimes he's going to overcook one, like when he missed Dalton Schultz in the end zone. That's going to happen. Sometimes he's going to escape and make a big play. Sometimes he's going to fumble the damn ball on the snap, pick it up, and hit Robert Woods and keep a drive alive when you're trying to make a comeback. Like, let CJ Stroud go out there and make some damn plays. That is why you spent the number 2 overall pick on him. And he's impressed to this point. If he sucked, I'd be like, yeah, protect him. He hadn't sucked. Go out there, let him swing. Send the rock around, man. Send the rock around. Jesus. You'll never hear me say that again. That's dumb. Aim high, let it fly. Texans wide receivers. I'm in, Matt Marr. Thank you for the super chat. That's it. Aim high, let it fly, baby. Man, there was one play too. Speaking of letting it fly. There was one play too. Stroud is probably that far away from hitting a giant play. That far away from hitting a giant play. He tried to place the ball right over the defender to Dalton Schultz. And the defender, Flowers, the corner for the Colts, he made a really nice play. He went up, he skied up, and he knocked it away. If he hits Schultz in stride, I believe Dalton takes off for another probably 15, 20 yards. There was no Colts defender in front of him, but aim high, let it fly. I'm in, man. I'm in, Matt Marr. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Thank you. Man, you guys are killing it on the comments today. Killing it. Well, Cody, if D'Amico doesn't have the PC needs on the run successful defense, that's on Casario's cheap ass. Well, I mean, he wasn't super cheap. I mean, they spent some money this offseason. Sheldon Rankin's $11 million player. Perryman's been a nice player. He got roughed up in game 2, but he looked really good in game 1. Like, I don't want to make too much. This is the Texans right now are basically every high school and college class that I ever took in my entire life. We have this much to get graded on. And the grade right now is not good. Okay? The grade's not good. That was me every school year. Every school year. First few weeks, first month of the school year, I was not turning quizzes in. I wasn't turning homework in. I wasn't studying for tests. And then you kind of get an understanding of the material and how you can handle it. And then I got going. Always had a real solid middle and finish to my school years. That's where this Texans team is right now. We're grading them on such a small portion of the year. It doesn't look good right now. Like there's plenty to clean up. Okay? Turn in a few more homework assignments. Do a little bit better on the quizzes. Be ready for the test. Okay? Like the Texans need to kind of kind of shine up some edges, clean up some edges here. Like that's what we're going to find out about this coaching staff. And you know what? If these guys can't get it done, D'Amico's got to move on from them at the end of the year. But they've got 15 more games to figure out if they can get it done. You have 15 more games, Mark says, when listening to Coach Ryans, I just don't get a sense of urgency in fixing and righting the ship. Okay. I do and I don't. He's not going to be a guy that goes up there and is breathing fire into the microphone after games. But I do believe he's breathing fire in film meetings. I do believe he's breathing fire in practice. But he's not going to go to the podium and breathe fire. He's not. He is not. Slowick needs to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, not new style Ninja Tortoise. Sean, I don't know where you come up with this stuff. Yeah, a lot of us had the pun when they were going so slow in the second half trying to come back. It was, boy, he really puts the slow in Slowick, does Bobby. Yeah, he does. He does. Nothing to do but wait till week 5. Yes and no, Zadis Q. Yes and no. Yes, some of the stuff doesn't get better by these backups playing. And guys are going to have to just come back, get healthy, and play better. That's certainly an aspect of it. But you can adjust the way your offense operates to maximize what you do well. Look, Tank Dell said it Monday. It's not like every single play was some disaster on the offensive line. Okay? It's not like every single play was some disaster. There were some plays where CJ had time and he made a play. Okay? There's far more issues on the offensive line than successes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not standing up for this offensive line. Okay? I'm not standing up for him. But when he had time, he made plays. There were a couple of moments where they made plays. Adjust to that. I'm not saying everything needs to be this quick, easy stuff, like the Colts did to you, but you don't have to run the ball so much. You don't have to have these slow developing plays. You can keep a guy in here or there to help you block because guys are winning one-on-one situations. There's positives coming out of these games. Okay, there's positives coming out of these games that you can highlight in the upcoming games. I do want to take a second here and encourage you folks to check out our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy, the best way to play fantasy, one of the sponsors here on the channel. When you sign up with my promo code Stoots, you're going to get 2 times your first deposit. That means you put in 20, you play with 40. You put in 50, you play with 100. You put in 100, you play with 200. It's a double your deposit, 2 times your first deposit at Underdog Fantasy up to $100 when you use my promo code Stoots, STOOTS. They've got weekly drafts. The draft is my favorite part of fantasy football. How about a weekly draft with just that week's slate of games? They've got that on Underdog Fantasy, and their Pick'em format is unmatched. It's so much fun. You're just guessing higher or lower on predicted stats. You put 5 of them together, bing, bang, boom, you 20 times your entry in just one game, one afternoon, one day. And you can mix and match amongst a couple of different teams, players. Heck, if you want to mix and match across sports, you can do that as well. Underdog Fantasy, the best way to play fantasy. There's a link in the description down below that will auto-fill the code for you when you sign up. When you sign up at Underdog Fantasy, use my promo code Stoots, STOOTS, and that will double your first deposit. And you will get special Pick'em options every week. Every week. And these special options are fun, easy ones, like higher or lower than 1 yard. Everybody can go higher or lower. Everybody can go higher than 1 yard. It's like a free space in your quest to 20 times your money. Sometimes there's multiplier predictions that you can 25 times your money or more. You can even insure your picks, so even when you lose, you still win. Underdog Fantasy, the best way to fantasy. Visit them, check them out. They support the channel. And please, game responsibly. All right, let's get some more of these. 119 dozen 55 sweet. My favorite play call. As opposed to what some fools have been saying, Texans fans need to stand strong with D'Amico and Bobby. Growing pains expected. Long-term investment. D'Amico is worth it. He is that dude. I agree. One game. I mean, what were we saying after the Baltimore game? Hell yeah, D'Amico had him ready for Lamar Jackson and that new offense and all that. What were we saying after Lamar? One game should not change your opinion on anybody. If that's all you've got on them, like you only got 2 games of D'Amico head coach. You've only got 2 games of Bobby Slowick offensive coordinator. So everything's weighted differently. But I'm not bailing on anything the Texans put together. I liked the plan. I supported the plan. I believed in the plan that they put together. I'm not bailing. I'd encourage you not to bail either. I would encourage you not to bail either. This is funny. If the Texans are a student, they haven't turned in an assignment in years. Yeah, I'm not sure David Culley even made it to class, if we're using the school example. Clayton Bigsby. Cody, you are one handsome man. Thank you. It's quite kind of you. Where do you get your haircut? I got a haircut lady that's cut my hair for 20 years. That's right, 20 years. Going to the same lady for 20 years. Now, obviously, when I was in Lubbock, I couldn't go to her, but even sometimes when I come back home, I'd go to her. Her name's Miss Jamie. She's the best. She's the best. She cut my hair for 20 years. And I used to buzz it and shave it because I wanted to look like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I just looked like a fat Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator that you'd see like in Las Vegas. Okay? It didn't look good. So I started actually growing out my hair. And I've got the best hair in Houston Texans media. Nobody's got better hair than me. Brooks Cabina's close, but nobody's got better hair than me in Houston Texans media. I'd put that challenge out there. I'd put that out there to the Pretty Boy TV guys. I'd put that out there to Cabina. I put that out there to anybody and everybody. Brandon Scott's hair is cool, and I couldn't pull off his hairstyle, but I don't believe he could pull off my hairstyle either. But I got the best hair in Texans media. Clayton, thank you for the super chat and the nice comment on my hair and my appearance. All right. You're one of 7 people ever to call me handsome. Got to get that mug on the Era Good Vibes hat. I don't know if that one's going to be a seller. Okay. I don't know if that's going to be a seller. Volatility. I feel like you got a real shot against the Jags. At our worst, we still won games against them. 5-game winning streak in Jacksonville. 5-game winning streak in Jacksonville. Does that come to an end? Hope not. Hope. Balin Rios. We just need this team to get together. Defense showed out week 1 while the offense looked sluggish, and then the total opposite happened on Sunday. Got to get it going on both sides. Yeah, when this thing clicks, man. When this thing clicks, they're going to take care of some business, man. They're going to be a tough out for people. All right? They're going to be a tough out for people when this thing clicks. They've got a lot of work that needs to go into making it click. That's the scary part. Is like getting everything to click. Like there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done to getting it to that level. And this is one of those. Molten metal. Defense giving up 28 points a game. Not going to win many games doing that. Didn't care how good the offense is. You're right. They have to play better defense. They have to play better defense. They have got to get off the field on third down. My God, can they just make a play on third down? And some of that's Petrie, some of that's Ward, but Will Anderson, Jonathan Grenard, Denzel Perry, someone has to make a play on third down and get them off the freaking field. They are getting beat to high heaven on third down. I would bet that their third downs allowed. I can go to team rankings right now and look. And I looked at this the other day. I would bet that their third downs allowed is among the worst. Let's see. Opponent third down conversion is among the worst in recent years. Yeah, so they're allowing opponents to convert on third down at a 51.85% clip. That's bad. The worst for a season in the NFL over the past few seasons has been about 50-ish or so percent. Okay? That's bad. They cannot, my God, they cannot get off the field on third down. It is brutal to watch. Brutal to watch. Oh, BK says that he had better hair than I do. Why are we lying? Why are we lying? Christopher Rios says facts on the hair. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Brandon Scott. You know, if Brandon Scott's style is what you prefer, he got me beat. He got me beat. Dime asks, just got here and he mentioned a Watson last night. Hoping it stays that way. We get a good pick. Taylor goes on, what happened to Deshaun Watson? I think his issues extend further than football. He doesn't appear to be focused mentally. Man, I haven't seen a guy just kind of fall apart in a game quite like Deshaun Watson. I've never seen a quarterback get 2 face mask penalties in the same game. That maybe has never happened before. Something just hadn't clicked for Deshaun. I don't know if it's the offense doesn't work for him, the team, the vibe. I mean, a year away from football is not good for anybody. Okay, I think we've discovered that. You take a year away from football, it's not going to be good. And he looks really bad. He looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in football. And that's a scary place to be if you're the Cleveland Browns. You've guaranteed all that money to him. He's supposed to be ascending. He's supposed to be getting better. He is not supposed to be getting worse. And the best player on that offense is now gone for the season. Man, that was tough to watch with Nick Chubb. Best player on that offense is gone now for the season. And I don't know that Deshaun Watson has the ability now to pull them out of a tailspin. That could be a team that is headed for a tailspin. I believe they're going to fire Kevin Stefanski in the middle of the year and give the team to Jim Schwartz. I don't think that's going to make a big difference. And they'll be hiring a new coach this offseason. They'll be hiring a new coach this offseason in Cleveland. In large part because Deshaun Watson's not going to play well enough. In large part because Deshaun Watson is not going to play well enough. Cody, looks like the Texans are on target to pick first in 2024. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. Brickfa. Okay. I tweeted about this. In the Tankathon standings, which I will share the screen. We'll jump over there right now. In the Tankathon standings, you will see here the Texans, if the draft was tomorrow, they would pick 11th and the Browns would pick, or the Cardinals would pick 5th. So they are not currently on track for the number 1 pick. They're on track for the number 2 pick. Okay. That's what all the Vegas odds will tell you. But this was funny to me. I just checked this out and we'll pay attention to this over the course of the year. And I tweeted about this. If this is how it ends up, you end up with the 5th worst record in football and the Browns end up with a really bad record. right outside the top 10, you can live with this. You can live with it being 6 spots for Will Anderson. Okay. If it gets worse than this, then yeah, it's going to look crappy and you're going to feel horrible about it. But you can live with this if this is kind of the result. If you're only 6 spots away from Cleveland, okay. Now, this is for people who wanted them to give up the Browns selection, not their own. If you didn't want to make the trade, sorry, the trade's been made. I don't know who else you wanted. You wanted Lucas Van Ness? He hadn't done crap for the Packers. Okay. Where are they getting the pass rusher? You tell me you wanted Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, JSN looks pretty good. I mean, he's had some moments here. All right. But yeah, they're not on track to pick the number 1 yet. They will be. They're not on track to pick number 1. Not yet. Ooh. Damian Pierce looking like David Johnson. Disagree. Offensive line looking like 2015 offensive line. 2017 offensive line. 2017 offensive line was bad. Richard Pohl, Tank Dell to the Pro Bowl. Wouldn't mind it. You absolutely can. Yeah, you can. They could have traded the Browns pick instead of their own. I don't believe that gets the trade done, but they could have offered it. I don't believe that gets the trade done. Tuan Yin. Yin? Am I saying this right? It looks like we have a QB, so it doesn't matter where the Texans pick. It's all crapshoot. Texans rolled. Lucky number 7. I like that. Texans rolled lucky number 7. That's good. Speaking of being lucky, you could be lucky and win our current raffle. Okay. The link in the description down below is there to sign up for the raffle. Okay. I'm raffling off 2 autographed copies of Times on Our Side by my good buddy, John Harris. John Harris does sidelines for Texans radio. He works for the Houston Texans, and he also has a fantastic website called Football Takeover that I encourage you to check out. John's my favorite draft analyst. I love listening to him talk about the draft. This is his book about football coaching and game management. It is a very good book. John is one of my favorite guys to talk football with, and I'm raffling off 2 autographed copies of that book. Okay? To enter, all you have to do is fill out the form in the description down below. If you are a free subscriber to Houston Football, my website where I do all my writing, you get a free bonus entry into the raffle. If you are a monthly subscriber, you get 3 free bonus entries. If you are a yearly subscriber, okay, monthly is just $7. It pops every month. If you subscribe for the year, you get 2 months free. So a year for the price of 10 months. If you're a yearly subscriber, okay, you get 5 bonus entries. And if you are a founding member subscriber, you get 10 bonus entries into the raffle. Okay. It's a very good book. And it's under $10. If you don't win it, I encourage you to purchase it. Johnny does a great job. I'm excited for 2 people to win that raffle. All you have to do is enter in the description down below. And on your way to enter into the raffle, hit that thumbs up button on the video if you haven't already. Zadaskew, injury report tomorrow will be everything. Tunsil, Petrie, and Ward. We'll get a really it's 11 o'clock is when we're supposed to be out there practice to observe practice. That's when the tweets will start flying of who's there, who's not there, who's practicing, who's not practicing. And then the injury report shows up later in the day. I desperately hope to see 78, 1, and 5 on that field. And if you see 78, 1, and 5 tomorrow, there's a really good chance you see 78, 1, and 5 on Sunday. Okay? If you don't see them tomorrow, there's a really good chance you don't see them on Sunday. But if you see 78, 1, and 5 tomorrow, it's going to be awesome on Sunday because it means more than likely seeing those guys on the field tomorrow means they're going to play on Sunday. Ray Mathis asks a question on the super chat. Appreciate the super chat, Ray. Cody, loving the articles lately. Plus, these evening chats are great. Quick question for you. What websites do you use for keeping up with everything? It's a good question, Ray. So a lot of stuff is from Twitter. So a lot of stuff is, people put the stat out, this or that. You catch stuff a lot. You catch a lot of stuff on Twitter. But as far as where I go and I grab stats and I grab rankings and this and that, so ESPN is easily navigatable. They don't always have the numbering on the side, but I get some stats from ESPN, some basic stats from ESPN. Next Gen Stats gives you some of the smarter stuff, but it's also sometimes takes a little bit of explaining and a little bit more to that. But Next Gen Stats is good. NFL.com has a good search feature. You can do a lot more specific stuff with NFL.com. Pro Football Reference, do a lot of stuff on Pro Football Reference from that standpoint, and especially looking up older plays or players. They do some stuff with some down and distance, like how the team operates from this portion of the field. Like, for instance, on Pro Football Reference, the Texans have run the ball 7 times in the red zone for 5 yards. They have run the ball 7 times in the red zone for 5 yards. I didn't keep count of that. Pro Football Reference had it. So you go to the team page, you look at some of their stats, some of their down and distance where they are on the field. I do that one a lot. Teamrankings.com. Teamrankings.com is where I get a lot of my stuff for my team stats. They have so many team stats, and they break it down by scoring offense by quarter, total offense, rushing offense. Break it down. But team rankings is another one. You try not to get lost too much in the stats, but every now and then there's a fun stat there for you that team rankings has. So I really like that. The one that I try to keep track of that takes me some time and it takes me multiple websites to go through is I like to try to keep up with toxic differential, which is something that's really important for average to below average teams. Toxic differential takes into account your turnover margin and your big play margin. So big plays are rushes 10 yards or more, passes 15 yards or more. And then obviously turnovers are turnovers. And then I kind of have a little play here or there with what else I consider a big play, like a big punt return or a big kick return might be a big play sometimes. But it just it spits out a number. And this is super hard to explain. It spits out a number that basically tells you this team's really good or this team's really bad. The year the Rams went to the Super Bowl, they had one of the best toxic differentials. The first time they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah. The first time they went and they lost. They had one of the best toxic differentials for a regular season in a long time. So that's another stat that I try to keep track of. But that takes me some legwork and some double checking and some mathing and so on and so forth. So I don't always do a great job of getting that right. Ray, appreciate you for the kind words and appreciate you for the super chat as well. If you guys have a super chat, you go to the front of the line in the conversation. Speaking of Ward, what's the deal with him? Feels like no one was talking about his injury till week 1 Wednesday. Man, it popped up. It popped up late in the preseason, and it showed up in the regular season. It's been an issue. I've been loving the CJ stats, about the only positive thing to look at right now. Yeah, CJ's had some nice moments so far. After 1 week, he was 8th in passing yards. Now he's 4th in passing yards. Completion percentage could be a little bit better, but 20th in completion percentage. He's the most sacked quarterback. That's not something you want to lead in, but they do. The QB rating went way up. QB rating doesn't always tell you everything, but QB rating went way up. He went from 22nd to 16th in that, slightly improved in yards per pass attempt and QBR. So it's trending in the right direction. It's trending in the right direction for CJ Stroud through 2 games. Okay. I will be interested to see how we all handle the first step back from CJ Stroud. Like when he has an issue, when he does take a step back, I'll be interested to see how we all handle it. Hopefully we all handle it well. Newsflash, we won't. Okay. We won't. Who would you draft 2024 next year, Cody? I mean, I don't even know where they're picking. I don't even know who for sure is going to be out. Obviously, if they get Marvin Harrison Jr., I'd pick him. If you could get an edge opposite Will Anderson, I'd think about that. Maybe they need a corner to replace Steven Nelson if he leaves in free agency. So Kool-Aid McKinstry is a guy from Alabama. He's been good. Kalen King from Penn State. I would think most of us are thinking wide receiver. And there should be a lot of good wide receivers. Malik Neighbors is a guy from LSU who's really damn good. Xavier Worthy's had some moments. A linebacker. You're not going to draft an inside linebacker in the first round or that high where they might be picking, but it's tough to say what they should draft because I don't know what they're going to need. What if somebody turns out to be a world beater? And, we're sitting here in September talking about, we're going to draft this guy. And the next thing you know, that player plays well enough that you don't need to draft that guy. All right. Yeah, roughly that's what it means. Roughly that's what it means. I mean, I can go check the stats real quick. As a team. Yeah, so they're passing offense, they're 5th in yards per game. The Dolphins are 90 yards better than them in yards per game. The Dolphins are freaking nasty. Freaking nasty. Damn near every position is a hole. You got a lot of stuff that you need to figure out. You were a really bad football team. For two and a half seasons, you were a really bad football team. Guys left in free agency, guys retired, guys moved on. You didn't replace them right away. You're a really bad football team. You're not going to fix everything in one offseason. Okay? You got picks next year. You got money next year. That'll go a long way in fixing things. You're not going to fix everything in one offseason. I wouldn't trade for T. Higgins. I don't believe he's hitting free agency. I believe they'll franchise tag him and trade him. But I wouldn't trade for him. If he hits free agency, I'd have the conversation, but he's not hitting free agency. Claude, appreciate you jumping in a bully offensive line that pushes their defensive counterpart. Can't get the running game going. Arian Foster couldn't succeed with this line, so yes, they must pass. I'll tell you what, Barry Sanders couldn't run behind this line. It stinks. It stinks. So throw the ball. Put it in the air. Get it into Nico Collins' hands. Get it into Tank Dell's hands. Well, I tell you what, how great from a Nico Collins skeptic like myself, it's been nice to be wrong about Nico Collins through 2 weeks. How good does he look, man? And they haven't even unlocked that Nico Collins sideline success that he has so often in practice and in training camp and joint practices. He wins on the sidelines, but they're content to get him going over the middle. Nico Collins taking it to the next level. That's been one of the best developments for this team and this situation for the Texans over the first 2 games. If he stays healthy and he puts this together over the course of an entire year or something close to this, I say puts this together. He puts this together in one of the best wide receiver seasons of all time. But he puts something close to this together every week, and that's a big-time player to have on your team. It's a big-time wide receiver to have on your team as well. And it looks like it's finally clicked for Nico Collins. The first year, he comes in the league after the year off. He's a 3rd-round pick. He gets hurt basically right away, so he never really finds his footing. I mean, I think he's like 7 or 8 yards away. I think he's 7 or 8 yards away from getting to half of his season total from last year. Half. So, I mean, he's off to a great start. You just hope that he stays healthy and he continues this sort of progression. And that's a big-time weapon that you didn't believe you had or you were trying to find from a wide receiver standpoint. Oh, look who it is. My guy, Dom. What's up, man? Cody, I'm a huge Stingley fan. Off to a good start. He's been making some more plays, though, taking the ball away. Yeah, Stingley, the tackling could be a little bit better. They don't throw at him. They don't throw at Stingley. And Baltimore challenged him a couple times. He got the pass interference on Odell. But they don't throw at Stingley. And that's a good job by him. It's a good job by Stingley if teams aren't throwing at him. I would tell you, though, I bet you Jacksonville challenges him this week. I would bet you Jacksonville challenges him this week. And I like Derek Stingley's chances against what Jacksonville may throw out there. Now, if it's Stingley and Calvin Ridley, sign me up. Marquee matchup. That's a marquee matchup, Stingley versus Ridley. You throw one of those other slappies on that Jacksonville wide receiver room out there against Derek Stingley, well, I'll tell you what, Trevor Lawrence ain't throwing the ball over there because that guy ain't going to get open. Ain't going to get open. Dom, man, it was good to see you down here in Houston. Good to meet you. You're a great dude. And it was fun hanging out with you on Friday. It was fun hanging out with you on Sunday before the game. Wish the Texans could have got a dub. But, maybe I come up there for that Jets game. Maybe we come out and see the Texans at MetLife go get a dub against the Jets. So maybe we do that. Appreciate you, man. It's great meeting you. Can't wait to talk soon. Don't be a stranger, man. You got the digits. Hit me up on the phone, man. You can get in the comments too. I like how you came in here like we're not buddies too. Okay? Like, hey, first time, long time. I like how you came in here like we're not friends. Do you go first time, long time on In the Loop when you call them? Come on. Just giving you a hard time. Your friends are fantastic too. I'm sorry you're Jets buddy. Had to watch his Jets get demolished like I told them they would. All right, couple more. Harris Beard. I've been telling you about Nico. His talent was clear. I never understood why people thought he was a disappointment last year. Because he was. He was a disappointment last year. He got hurt again, and he didn't translate practice success to the regular season. People thought he was a disappointment last year because he was a disappointment last year. Most guys who are successful as wide receivers that are mid-round picks are successful within the first 2 years. He wasn't. He was a disappointment. And then he showed up for the first 2 games, and he's awesome. K-Real. I thought Schultz would be CJ's safety blanket, but it's looking more like it's Woods. Yeah, Woods gets open. I mean, I was telling y'all about this. I was telling y'all about in practice. I told y'all day after day after day, Robert Woods gets open. All he does is just get open. Yep, Robert Woods, he gets open. And that's what he's done so far. Credit to Robert Woods. He's further away from the injury. He's had a really nice start to his career. To his season as a Texan. This is one of the better first 2 game starts to his career in recent years. So Woods and the success that he's had, that's something to pay attention to going forward. Do you believe a rebuild truly starts when the franchise QB gets drafted? Something your buddy Andrew Carlson and Josh Beard were saying on a video today. I somewhat agree, but you need a foundation. Yeah, I mean, the rebuild's here. The rebuild's here. The thing is we all want some wins in the middle of this rebuild. So the rebuild's here, and you want some wins. The rebuild's, it's in progress. It's in progress. I believe they're also giving away run game, taking too much to get consistency. Like last year, everyone knew it was passed when Records out there. The flat. I do wonder about tendencies, and that's something I want to ask Bobby Slowick about this week when we talk to him on Thursday. Tendencies, how do you self-scout? Have you picked up on things from your 2 games that you can do better? That's something to pay attention to. We've been rebuilding for like 3 years. No, they have not. They have not been rebuilding for 3 years. They were in the playoffs and a 2.5 quarters away from playing for an AFC championship in 2019. Then the franchise quarterback asked out, was accused of sexual assault, and they couldn't trade him before the 2020 draft, so they lost that year. Then when they could trade him, they traded him and started to go about adding pieces to their team, but there was no quarterback worth drafting, so they couldn't really start the rebuild. Guess what happened? QB's worth drafting. They draft one. Rebuild started this year. The rebuild started this year. They have not been rebuilding for 3 years. They've been setting themselves up to rebuild for the past couple of years, and the rebuild started this year. I know people don't like saying that because we don't like to think about 2020 and 2021 and 2022. 2019, they're in the playoffs. 2020, they fall apart, fire the coach. 2021, I got my timeline mixed up. 2019 playoffs. 2020 fall apart, fire the coach. Can't trade the franchise quarterback when he asks out because of the sexual assault case. Finally able to trade the franchise quarterback after some of the sexual assault stuff gets settled, and then you get going. There's no quarterback worth drafting. You had Davis Mills play last year. Rebuild started this year. You geared up for the rebuild for 2 years. Yeah, it sucked. The 2 years that didn't get you much, but you geared up for the rebuild for those 2 years, and the rebuild started this year. Let's see here. I think you've been saying Johnston. He comes back week 5. The punter will be back week 5. Yeah, that was the demolition years. You had to get rid of all the stuff. You had to figure out, oh, we got any busted pipes in here? Oh, we need to tear this wall down so it's an open concept. Yeah, that's what everybody does on the home improvement shows now. Is it an open concept? All right. Housekeeping. I'm working on hats. Okay? I'm working on hats. So don't know exactly what they're going to look like or what they're going to be. I'm working on hats for everybody. All right? We'll raffle some. They'll be available for purchase. I'm working on hats. I'm thinking just Houston football in like a script writing. Simple, effective, easy to pair with stuff. You can wear it a lot of different ways. I don't need y'all running around my logo out there. Like that nobody wants my logo on a damn hat. But Houston football, that's supporting the cause, and you can take that wherever you want to go. All right, so working on hats for everybody. All right, not here yet. They will be. I mentioned it earlier. You want Era Good Vibe stickers? Let me know. I'll mail them to you. I got the stamps. Right here. I put it right on an envelope. Mail it right to you in the mail. Okay? Mail it right to you in the mail. Gonna have some different stuff coming up. We'll send out to the folks a little bit later on. All right? So working on that. Raffle down below in the description. Enter the raffle. Opportunity to win the book from John Harris. Time's on our side. It'll be an autographed copy. We're going to raffle off 2 of them. Bonus entries for Houston football subscribers. We talked about that earlier on. Catch that. Check out our friends at Underdog Fantasy. The best way to fantasy. Help support the channel. Okay. Check out Houston football. www.houfootball.com. It's my subscription site. There's always free content on there. Okay. You get everything for just $7 a month. That's it. $7 a month. You get everything. All the writing, bonus entries. If you subscribe for a year, you get 2 months free. I encourage you to check it out. At least think about it. Okay? At least think about it. Man, what are you talking about? No yak on this team. Yeah, Woods doesn't have yak, but Nico's running cats over getting yak. Tank Dell's got yak. It's 25-yard score. Talking about no yak on this team. There's yak potential. Okay? Maybe I hadn't showcased yet, but there's yak potential. All right? No yak on this team. Get out of here. That. All right? That does it for the stream, the video tonight. All right? The housekeeping's done. Everything else is done. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're watching this after the fact, thank you for watching all the way through. Hit the comment section. If you're watching this not live, hit the comment section if I missed something or you want to continue the conversation. I'm always mixing it up in the comments. Happy to have a conversation with you there. Okay? Happy to have the conversation with you there. All right, we wrap up each and every live stream the exact same way. It's my charge to you. It's my hope to you as well. I'd like for you to eat good, sleep good, be good. I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you guys. You make this so much fun. We have a blast in here talking Texans late night. It's so much fun. Appreciate you. Everybody eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon.